Hi, everyone. Can you all hear me? Hi, Lilian.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first episode of this year. My name is Ruth. Very nice to have all of you. This episode, we're very, very thrilled to be hosting Lilian Nakigozi, the founder of Women Smiles and CEO of Women Smiles. Lilian is going to be telling us about how community-led innovations can really take something from very small idea to a big life-changing idea that changes over 6,000 people's lives. And if you are new to this series and you want to catch up with the previous series, please check the FIDA page to update yourself after this session. This session is going to be 1 hour, and please stay with us for that period and learn from the amazing Lilian. And right now, I would like to ask Lilian to introduce herself briefly. Please, the floor is yours.
Lilian, you're speaking while muted.
Sorry, thank you so much, Ruth, and thank you so much, everyone, to the FIDA Uganda community. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Lilian Nakigozi, the founder and executive director of Women Smiles Uganda.
Hi, Lilian. I don't know, your camera is off, I think. I cannot see you. Can everyone hear Lilian? Okay, perfect. Okay, so today's topic, can everyone hear me? Sorry. Yes, Jane. Jane, you have your hand up.
Can hear.
Jane or Michelle? Okay. So today's topic is about changing the world does not need a world of resources, as proven by Lilian. And dear Lilian, the first question I would like to ask is please introduce to us how you did all of this.
Thank you so much, Ruth. I should say this came out of passion and personal experiences. Growing up as a young girl, my story is my parents separated when I was 2 years. So my mother and my other siblings, we moved to the city and settled in Katang slum. So that's where basically I was raised. And at age 8, of course, I could really understand, I saw how my mother was struggling to put food on table for us, make sure she gets money to pay school fees for us. So it was a struggle. So I witnessed firsthand struggles of women, including my mother, how they struggled to make sure they meet like the basic necessities for their families. So seeing such a struggle and growing up in such a situation, I should say, because some days we slept on empty stomachs, and of course some days we survived on just one meal a day, and that was corn porridge. So such experiences, I believe, shaped me to do what I'm currently doing today. Because when I grew up, I promised myself that I needed to do something. I needed to come up with a solution that could support women, that could enable women, teenage mothers, and the young people sustain themselves, be financially independent, regardless of whether they have limited space, they have limited resources. So that's how the inspiration of vertical farming came into place. Because I believe that with vertical farming, you can use small spaces, underutilized spaces, your balcons, your walkways, your walls, to actually grow a variety of crops, vegetables, be able to access food, and at the same time sell the surplus of those fresh produce to within your communities and to markets for income generation purposes. So basically, what I do is out of passion and of course my personal experiences growing up in a very humble background. Thank you so much for it.
That is very, very inspiring. But I read that your background is in business administration. So why vertical farming? And for anyone else who doesn't know about vertical farming, what is vertical farming?
Okay, thank you. Vertical farming is basically growing crops in vertically stacked items. You can use recycled plastic waste. You can use old tires. Basically, we have different types how we make the vertical units. So it's basically urban farming, utilizing your small spaces, and then you can also actually use less water and less land for crop production. So that's more about vertical farming. And of course, I believe vertical farming is a game changer because one, it uses less space. With less space, even someone who doesn't have access to land can be able to actually grow crops. Someone who doesn't have like access maybe to, let's say, to available water resources, let's say a borehole, you can still use your little water to actually grow a variety of crops. That's basically what vertical farming is more of using the limited resources to actually be able to increase yields. Yeah.
Wonderful. So this vertical farming, when you started it, did you start it in the same area you grew up in? And what inspired you to start? Yeah, I know you've told us about what inspired you, but why particularly vertical farming or farming altogether?
Yeah, like you had mentioned, my background is in business administration, and then I did accounting major. I should say I taught myself how to farm because I believe agriculture is one of the most powerful tools for empowerment. Because for many women and young people, it's not about just growing food. It's more about financial independence. It's more about sustainability, resilience, and of course, community development. So basically, that's how we view it. And why the solution? Because I believed that agriculture can be used to address very many problems. It can be used to address zero hunger. It can be used to address poverty. It can be used to address healthy. Can be used to address climate action. So it's basically cut across all those areas. So that's why I actually ventured into sustainable agriculture because I'm also passionate about it, and I believe it changes lives. And yeah, we've really created great impact through sustainable agricultural practices.
Really inspiring. And yes, so when you started, I read that you started with a group of women and you started doing this by mostly the support from money you had saved on your own. How did that go? How much did it require you to start? What was the process like? And how were you able to convince these women to, believe in you to start this initiative?
Yeah, when I was in school, I was on government sponsorship at MOBS. So while studying, they used to give us like small money of 700K. As a government-sponsored student. So I used to save part of that money. So by the end of my 3-year course, I had saved like $300. It was around 1.2 something, yeah. So that's what I had saved. And then I invited my girlfriends I was with at campus, 4 of them. So I introduced to them this idea that, you know what, I think I've saved some money, but there is a community that I need to support. And the community I thought about was Katang Slum, where my family lived. So with a few resources, with my girlfriends, we went to the community. Of course, I knew a few ladies there who were our neighbors. So I approached them. then surprisingly, they really welcomed the idea. Of course, when we went with food supplies, portion rice, then we also bought soap, and then cooking oil. So we gave them the food supplies, and then they were very happy. However, when we sat, I saw it, but that's something that wasn't sustainable. We couldn't continue, like, giving people food supplies, them be happy, and then after like 2 weeks, everything is done. So when I was contemplating, when I was meditating, of course, I thought about something which went into agriculture. I was like, if agriculture can be done in the rural areas, I believe it can also be done in the cities with limited space. We just have to come up with a solution, something that could fit into the urban setting. So of course, that's when I went ahead, visited farms, different farms in Uganda, in rural areas. I saw how they did their farming. Of course, I knew little about farming. Then, of course, I made use of Google, I should say, farming in small spaces, and then they brought these advanced vertical farming methods in the US, in Europe. So when I saw that, I was like, no, I don't think we can really be able to use these methods because they are very advanced and very expensive. So that's when I'm like, maybe we should come up with like something that could fit within the low-income communities. So that's when the thing of recycling plastic, coming up with a tower garden. When you get a chance to visit some of our demo farms, you'll see all what I'm speaking about, or you have seen them in some of the photos on our social media and our website. Yeah, so basically that's how it came into place. And then I started with 10 women. We trained them. That was in 2018. This was basically a simple project. So we started training them how they can, recycle, use those recycled plastic waste, use tires like cover on all their walls so that they can, even with small space, they can be able to grow. So that's how we started. And of course, I started applying for opportunities, external opportunities, external funding. And then in 2019, when I submitted my idea to the Tony Elmero Foundation, we were able to win a grant funding on 5,000K. And of course, with that grant funding, we never really stepped back. So it really helped us to amplify our work. It really helped us to do like so much, register our organization, and basically continue working with communities, working with women. Yeah, so basically that's how we started.
Interesting, really. And so currently, is your scope still just women, or have you broadened up? Because I saw you also have youth. So is this like young women, teenage adulting girls? What is it like at the moment?
Our beneficiaries, actually, I should say, they range. We have young people as early as 17, 16 years, up to like 70 years of age.
Yeah.
Those are women. Then we also have the youth, in like the boys, the young boys. These are mostly fresh graduates from the university. Then we also have recently added persons with disabilities. But for persons with disabilities, our first focus is now women, because this is a new segment that we previously added last year. So basically, those are the kind of people we work with. And then we're also working with school-going children as early as 3 years, 4 years. So basically, we're also training them how to farm.
Yeah. And what's the perception of the beneficiaries? Like, are they eager to learn? Do you have to convince them? And when they learn, is it easier for them to teach the skills they've learned to other people?
Yeah, for the beneficiaries, I should start with the children, because Women's Mouse Uganda, we believe that engaging children in farming is crucial for future generation that values sustainability, a generation that values food security, a generation that values like improved livelihoods. So we've seen like great transformation within these young children. You see that most of them, they grow up, especially those in urban settings, they grow up not knowing where exactly food comes from. Yes, they might know that food comes from the village, but they don't know like the stages, the processes of what it takes to have that tomato. So when we take them through all these stages, they see a tomato growing. So they really get excited. And actually, we've seen most of them starting small gardens at home. So there is really like a great impact, and there is really a positive change. And we see these young children even encouraging their other family members to do the same. Then, of course, for the women, most of the women we work with, some of them are single mothers, some of them are really struggling, most of them were unemployed before. So engaging them has really been very, very crucial to them. It has been one way of empowering them with skills. Then, of course, working with local leaders, we've not really had so many challenges of rejection and all that, because we really engage local leaders, local councillors. We work with them directly, so they help us to create awareness within those communities before we actually conduct the community workshop trainings. So we work with local leaders, they do the coordination, they create awareness about sustainable farming practices within those communities. And then they also help us identify those individuals and those groups of people who may need what we do, the training, the services. So basically that's how we've been working. And so far, we've really had positive impact, positive feedback from the people we are working with. So we are really very happy about the impact we are creating, and we are very optimistic about what will come in the future.
So amazing. I want to be you. And so me as Ruth, who has a smartphone but no land and would be interested in starting vertical farming, where do I begin from?
One, of course, you're lucky that you know me now, so you can just reach out to us, because we're always open. Our offices are open. You're always open to come and see what we do, because it's very important to see it practically. So we can train you, and then we can also help you get you started. Yeah.
That's so interesting. And what role has it played in access to food, for example, solving food insecurity, but also cleaning up the environment where these women live? What significant place does vertical farming have in Katanga, for example?
Yeah, I should say, of course, when our beneficiaries are engaging with our solution, they are able to grow their own food. They are able, because with our solution, we train them how to grow like different kinds of crops, vegetables. You find that most of them grow leafy vegetables. They grow cabbages, they grow spinach, sukuma, onions, like it's a lot. They can also grow like Irish potatoes, beans, like name it. There are so many varieties. Then some of them have also focused on growing spices, which they later on sell. So you find that someone who was buying a tomato, right now they don't buy. Someone who was buying onion, someone who was buying the vegetables, they can now like grow their own food, which has really reduced on the food expenses within the household. So it has also helped in such a way. Then the other way is the income generation part of it, because you find that like I had mentioned, that most of these women were unemployed, but they are now running small agri-businesses whereby they are able to sell these agricultural fresh produce within their communities. And we've also connected some of them to markets, to restaurants, to some schools where they are able to sell. So basically, it has been a game changer within these communities.
Yeah. And nutrients-wise, is there any difference from vegetables or food grown vertically to any food grown the same way that in the villages they traditionally grew the food?
Yeah, I should say traditionally we see that most of the food now is not organic. Most of the food that is coming into the market is not organic. So with our beneficiaries, we actually encourage them to do organic food. They don't have to apply these toxic chemicals, to split. So what we do, we also have trainings where we take them on how to make composite manure so that they can use it on their gardens to avoid the use of toxic chemicals. So that's where we see the difference, that we are encouraging the use of eco-friendly farming techniques, practices like organic farming, so that they are able to, one, it also helps in for healthy eating, then it also helps to save our environment from the toxic chemicals that are used of late.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, are there any limitations in accessing markets when you're not using the prescribed, for example, fertilizers and all of that?
No, we haven't had any. We've actually had many people wanting to get like organic food. So the limitation haven't been there because basically we take them through series of trainings. Then we also encourage them to do crop rotation, mulching. So all that actually helps them not to use the toxic fertilizers, because all of that is pest control and crop management. So we take them through all those trainings.
And what's the length of the training period? And
the training period, first, we usually do the initial training. It's more of preparing their mind for farming, because you find that some of them, they have never done this. So we first prepare their mind. That is the initial training. We tell them the importance of urban gardening. We tell them the benefits and all that. Then after that initial training, there is another training that we conduct where they come physically to our community demo farms and they learn different practices. Then after that training, basically our training is we conduct 4 trainings: the initial, then the practical one where they come to our farms. Then after they come to our farms, we also take them through the organic farming, basically for where they make composite manure. That's also another training. Then the other training is more about basic financial literacy, because we are preparing them to do this for basically for business or for income generation purposes. So those are the 4 trainings. Then of course, once they are done, we are able to provide the agri input. We help them to basically to get started. Then we don't stop at that. We always do follow-ups to know how they are doing, how are they adapting to this, if there are any challenges.
yeah. Hello. Is everyone able to hear Lilian, or is it just me?
Not able to hear at the moment.
Hi, Lilian. I think you're on mute again. Hello. So, oh, sorry. In the meantime, anyone who has any questions for Lilian or about vertical farming, please hand up or put them in the comments as we wait for Lilian to rejoin. It's- Hi.
Hello, am I back?
Yes, you're back. We lost you for a minute.
Oh, that, yeah, it was internet issues.
Sorry. Welcome back. Yeah. You were saying something before you went off. And well, now you can tell us something about the community engagement and how I see you've tried in Katanga. Have you tried in other areas similar to Katanga? And how feasible is it to take that idea and do it in other regions, not just the Katanga area or outside of Kampala? How has it been? Are people engaging the same way? Are they showing the same interest?
Yeah, I should say collaboration has been one of our greatest success factors. Because partnering with these local groups has really allowed us to reach more people. For example, last year we scaled to other areas outside Uganda, Luwero, where we had to engage women with disabilities. They are called Luwero Disabled Women Groups Association. So we engaged them, we trained them, and trust me, they were very happy. They showed very much interest. So after the first training, we went ahead and set up a community demo farm. We usually call them our urban farming hubs, where they are able to also train other members within the communities. So just last week, we were visiting them, and in just 6 weeks, they were having their first harvest, very happy. They are now selling to Katikamo SDA school, which is near them. Then there's also some apartment hotel, which is near them, where they are selling to. So they are really very happy. I should say collaboration has greatly contributed to this, because working with these local communities, it has been like amazing, I should say. We haven't really encountered challenges, because we believe in the power of our community and working together.
Yeah, that's so great. And you said for myself, I've been so lucky to already meet you that I can just call you up, be like, now I'm ready to become a farmer.
Exactly.
How about those ones who have not been as fortunate as I've been to meet you? How would they get in contact, and what are the requirements for them to join? Are there any, what would we tell someone who's interested in becoming a vertical farmer but doesn't know where to begin?
Yeah, so our contacts are open.
Yeah.
They can reach out to us on a call, then on email, womensmouthsuganda@gmail.com. Then they can also reach out to us through our website. Then also our LinkedIn is open, so you can just reach out to us, because I think that's how Lynette found me, with just a text and then of course a call. So we are we are findable. So we are just a call away, a text away.
Yes. Now we've spoken about all the things that have gone right in beginning this really interesting initiative. What are some of the things that have not gone as right as the things that did?
Yeah.
I don't want to call them problems, but what has not exactly stand?
Yeah, we can call them challenges. Of course, challenges have been there. I can't say that we haven't really had challenges. No, I'll be lying. So challenges have been there. We've had challenges where we have to resources. You have to ensure the resources are available. So, but one thing I've really learned is bringing about change isn't about having huge financial resources. So it's more about creativity, it's more about passion, it's more about community involvement. So once you commit yourself to something, you can start with very little. Use like innovative solutions, for example, collaborations, partnerships. That has really worked for us, that even without a lot of funds, a lot of money, you can be able to like come up with all those innovative solutions to ensure that you bring your idea to life, to ensure that you can be able to actually reach a certain milestone. So of course, challenges have been there, especially with funding, and of course, being a woman founder, we all know what it takes. It's not easy for us to raise funds, but of course, you just have to be focused, be committed in each and everything you do, and of course, you just have to stay resilient, because challenges will always be there, but how you address them also matters.
Yeah. Oh, and what about the sustainability of so your beneficiaries when they're done training and they start off? How has that been sustainable for them as continue there, the ones who wanted to make money of it? How has the continuity been after the learning?
Yeah, so basically after the landing, we are always with our beneficiaries for a period of 1 year. Then after 1 year, we believe by the end of the 1 year period, you can sustain on your own, because one, you have the skills, we've got you started with inputs, then you have access to market. And then the other thing why we emphasize working with communities, because when communities are engaged, there is a sense of ownership. So they own what they are doing. Like they are passionate about what they are doing. So that sense of ownership, it has really enabled, the beneficiaries to be sustainable. Their urban farms to be sustainable because they are passionate about it. They know it's theirs, it's not ours. Because when we come and set up a community demo farm in your community, it's not ours. We just are setting it up for you so that you can also be able to pass on the same knowledge and skills to other people. So there is that sense of ownership that has really helped these urban gardens to be sustainable. And of course, when we emphasize, when we encourage, and then when we supported our beneficiaries with access to markets, it also, there is a way it motivated them to even do things better. They have also become more creative about it. So yeah.
Oh, so incredible. You do so many incredible things. I don't know what to ask and not to ask. And you've collaborated with the local leaders, NGOs, and other groups.
Yeah.
What are the challenges? Are there any challenges in collaborating with such groups? And how have you gone about it?
Yeah, of course. Of course, partnerships come with challenges. For example, differing priorities, coordination difficulties. For example, you can reach out to a local leader. You want them to coordinate, and in most cases, you find that they want some money. It's how some things are. They want some money, but of course, how we've really managed to overcome that is we've managed find alignment in their values, the value of that community. Then we've also maintained open communication. We are I don't think it's money you need, because we are here to support your people. We are here to support your community. So we need to work together so that these people can love, so that these people can actually change their lives. So we have really made sure that we maintain partnerships and that are mutually beneficial. Yeah. Like a win-win.
Yeah. So good. And so we've been now talking about the start, the journey, how it's going. And 2025, it's only February. We had our trial month, January. Now the serious stuff begins. So what are we looking forward to? What new initiatives do you have? What's Women Smiles excited about this year?
Yeah, of course, our vision, we want to scale and expand across Uganda and then beyond Uganda. Because right now we are working on expanding our urban farming hubs, they're setting up different community farms where communities can learn. So we moved out of Kampala, Wakiso, Mukono, so we are now in Luwelo. We are expanding to Jinja. Very soon we'll be in Guru, and then other districts, of course, where women and young people can access training, can access the resources. So, of course, we also plan to integrate technology into our solution, for example, using solar-powered irrigation systems, because right now we use a drip irrigation system. So we plan to integrate technology. Then we also are on a journey to scale our farm to school program, engaging more children in sustainable agriculture. So basically, that's how our future is like. And most of the strategies are being worked on like this year, because this year will actually enable us to scale and then for the future.
Oh, very interesting. My next question was going to be about if you're going out of Kampala, how is that working resource-wise, but also accessibility and moving into areas where people already use traditional methods to farm and most people live, land to mouth, things like this. So how is that going to work out?
That will work in a way where we want to get community champions who will champion for sustainable practices. Of course, traditional farming is there, but of course, once we have champions who are creating awareness about urban gardening, about vertical farming, you may find that people want to have gardens in their compounds instead of flowers. People want to have gardens on their balcons, rooftops, like anywhere they can utilize those small spaces, and that can be like an added source of income or an added source of food. So that's how we plan to do it. Yeah.
Oh, is there any intersection where you could mix vertical farming and the traditional methods for people? Because I'm assuming people who have land and have already been farming using the traditional methods will definitely want to, try out the vertical farming because it's taking less space and it's more yields for them.
I believe so. Because where you can plant, let's say an acre of maize, and then you harvest and then like get less profits, I should say, like, because it happens with very many maize growers. But of course, when you integrate maybe with some vegetables, because within just 6 weeks you're already harvesting. Maize, it takes longer than that. So I believe that could also work in such a way that yes, some of them can have their maize, but of course they can integrate, let's say, the leafy vegetables, because one, they take a less period of time to grow, and then they can also, like, you can harvest continuously. So I believe it could also work.
Yes, I would definitely want to become a vertical farmer now. Forget everything else. So now the young people who are here and listening to you talk about how life-changing vertical farming has been for you individually, but also for the communities and the over 6,500.
Actually, that's an odd number. So
okay, please update us. Please forgive us forgive me for not asking initially the correct number at the moment.
Yeah, so the correct number, we have about 16,000 people that we worked with. Yeah,
that's amazing. That's incredible.
So that's so when I saw that figure, I'm like, I'll rectify this. So
that's amazing. Well done to you. Well done to Women Smile. But so the young people now listening and wanting to start, what is your call to action? Where should they start? What should they do? And I'm guessing all of them are not going to come to Women Smile because then they will overwhelm you in their individuality. Where can they begin from? What would you tell them?
I should say the best way to start is by identifying a local problem within your community, something that you are passionate about. And of course, you can start taking those small steps. You don't have to wait for big funding. You don't have to wait for big money because it might not come. Then talk to your community, find like-minded people, find mentors, people who can really support you. And of course, you can still leverage on the existing resources. You don't have to wait for huge money. Because for me personally, I believe that every big change begins with those small actions. And even the simplest initiatives can actually make lasting impact. Because when you come, you see that our solution might be simple, but it's really making like a great impact. So that's what I can advise all the young people out there.
Yeah. And how on the community engagement part, where you sound like you are naturally good at, getting people to listen to you, to see your vision. How about other people who are a little bit more introverted, but they really have the spirit to, get involved with their communities? Where do they start? Because some might not be, maybe some local governments or local leaders are not easily accessible. So what are the small steps this person would take?
I should say, actually, I'm also an introvert, but I've really managed to penetrate into different communities. One thing I can say to that person who is an introvert is get a friend, who can support you on that, because you cannot really do these things alone. So you need those support systems in place. You need people to help you. Then you can also find a mentor to guide you on that.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So I'm going to look for a mentor. Do you want to be my mentor? We're starting this right here. And so what else I wanted to ask was about, the community itself. How can community leaders reach out to these young people who might have ideas but don't really know who to go to, where to go to, and how important is it that when they have any activities happening, they really reach out to every corners of their communities? Because there might be people with some idea who might not know who to share it with, where to start. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get that question.
The question was, what would you tell the community projects or community leaders that have these activities happening like you have?
Yeah.
How would you best engage them to reach out to these young people who might have ideas but don't know where to start, don't really go to their engagements because they don't know where the engagements are or when they are, and if they are the right people that they are reaching out to?
Of course, for the community leaders, of course, for us, we've had like different community leaders reaching out to us, about our programs, but how they could identify other young people. Some young people have youth groups. There are those youth groups that are within their communities. So if community leaders can really identify those groups and engage young people, then they also need to really engage young people, because you find that some community leaders don't really engage young people. But young people are the future. They are the development of tomorrow. They are leading the development. They are leading the future. So I believe they should really engage them through those their youth groups. Then they can also try some university groups. It cannot be like go to the general university, but within those universities, there is those entrepreneurship groups, entrepreneurship clubs. So I believe they would be able to actually find those young people with brilliant ideas.
Yes, and this will be my last question before you give us your final thoughts. And so, what do you think is the role of vertical farming in climate change and as a climate action?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, I should say vertical farming itself is it's a climate smart agriculture. Because one, there is no use. You don't like constrain land. You don't constrain like resources. And then the other thing is that you grow crops organically. So itself is already an eco-friendly farming technique. And that actually encourages communities to to take care of the environment for climate action. So that's one thing I should say, that itself is already a climate smart technique or a climate smart agricultural practice.
Yeah. Oh, and for outside of farming and climate action, what does Lilian want to tell the rest of the world in contributing to making the world a little bit better than we found it in whatever capacity?
I should say, believe in the power of one idea, one action, because I believe those are the building blocks of change. And then once you have that idea, once you have that vision, commit to it, be resilient, and of course, let the limitations, like, they shouldn't stop you. So that's one thing I want to say to everyone out there.
Oh, thank you so much. And as you know, we're going to stay in touch because you're now my mentor. We've agreed about this. Thank you so much. It's been really, really, really amazing to hear you speak, to learn what you're doing. You're changing so many things, and I am very glad I met you. And this has been really, really amazing.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much to everyone who has joined this first episode of our coffee series. Please join us again on the first Friday of next month, and we will once again feature a spectacular speaker who will address a topical issue that will really touch upon Women's Month and the celebration of women. So please keep your eye on our socials. We'll be advertising that very soon. Have a lovely day and a lovely weekend, everyone.